There was a time, and there still is now in different parts of the world, even in San Francisco, when I think of it, where in a mansion there lived a very, very rich baby girl. And surrounding the mansion were the small houses of the poor. And in those days, it was the poor in those small houses that tended the land of the lord of the manor. And their lives were quite different. But the girl, Gretchen, as a small girl, she got to play with a boy from one of those houses named Hans. And the two of them were the best of friends. They made mud pies together. They went swimming together. They told each other stories. They made masks with mud on each other's faces. When she learned to read, she read to him. And as they grew side by side, they had many adventures. And she really loved him. He was her best friend. And he really loved her. She was a great storyteller and had good ideas. And he seemed to be able to create things out of nothing. The hours went by easily between the two of them. But when she was 12, one day her father said, "Gretchen, you can't go and play with Hans anymore." What? "You cannot play, it's inappropriate. You're becoming a young lady now. No more mud pies. No more tree climbing. Learning your manners and how to dress properly, and to stay away from Hans and the other peasants." And so from that day forward, she wasn't allowed to see him. And Hans eventually asked his mother, where did she go? And the mother tried to explain the ways of the world. And so the two were parted. Now once in a while Hans would see her in her fancy carriage and he might wave. Once in a while she might look out the window and watch him walking down the road, but that was it. Now when Gretchen was the age to marry, the father wanted to assure that she married the very best. And so he said, I will have a contest. The best huntsman in Denmark will be your husband. The one that is the best shot will be your husband. And so the word went out. And everybody who wanted to marry wanted to try, including Hans. And Hans went to his mother and he said, "Mother, Gretchen is of the age to marry, and there's a contest, I'm going to enter it. I'm going to enter it with my gun." Very rusty old gun. The mother said, "Well, you might be the best shot in the backyard, but in all of Denmark, I think not." He said, "I have to try to win her. What kind of a man would I be if I just gave up?" And so Hans, in his peasant clothing, went toward that mansion. And he came to a bridge, and there was a man in red. Red hat, red coat, red vest, red trousers, and goat's feet. And the man said, "Where are you going, Hans?" "Hey, how do you know my name?" He said, "I know everyone's name." "Well, I'm going to go enter the contest to see if I'm the best shot in Denmark, and if I am, I will marry Gretchen, my best friend." "Oh, I could make you the best huntsman in all of Denmark." "Really?" "Oh, yes, I can. And if I do, if I give you the magic you need, you must come back to me in 7 years, and you will be mine." "What? You're going to make me give me magic, and then I come back in 7 years, and I'm yours?" "That's right, that's the deal. How badly do you want to marry Gretchen?" "Really, I really want to marry her." And 7 years seemed like a long time to him. And so he agreed, and then he said, "Is there any way out of this bargain?" "Well," the man in red said, "if you can make me say, 'I don't know,' you will have your freedom." And then he took Hans's gun and blew into it. And Hans went off. He came to the mansion, he rang the bell at the gate, he rang the bell at the gate, he rang the bell at the gate. Nobody wanted to let him in. Gretchen came to the window and waved to him. And finally the father let him in. What do you want, Hans? I want to enter the contest. I have my gun. Huh, all right, said the father. I'm fair. Let's see. See that bird there? Shoot off one feather, but don't disrupt the flight of the bird. Oh, that's impossible, right? Hans, who had never shot the gun, picked it up, boom, huh, and the feather went doo, 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 and the bird flew on. What? Huh, said the father. Well, that was just the first test. Anybody could do that. See that rabbit 2 fields away? I want you to shoot the fur off its tail without harming the animal. Go right ahead. Now Gretchen's watching from the window, and Hans aims at that rabbit. Pew! And the fur goes, pfft, and the rabbit is fine. And off it hops. Gretchen's like, in the window. The father's, And so he chooses an impossible task. The fields are like a checkerboard. Green, a hedge. Green, another hedge. He goes 3 hedges, and there are farmers putting hay into a wagon, and the chief is smoking a pipe. Shoot the pipe out of his mouth, said the father. And Hans picked up that gun, and he aimed. And the bullet went so far, they didn't know what happened until all the workers came running. Oh, something terrible happened. Somebody shot the pipe right out of the chief's mouth. The father had to agree. So Hans and Gretchen got married. And they were very happy. And when you think ahead 7 years, if you add that up in your life, you can't imagine what you're doing 7 years from now. And neither could they. But when they got to the 6th year, Hans remembered the guy in red and the promise, and so he started to get nervous. It affected what he ate. He slept badly. He was grouchy. Gretchen kept saying, "Don't you love me anymore? Have I done something wrong?" Closer and closer to the 7th year, until he looked as though he was wasting away. And Gretchen begged him, "Please, there's something the matter. You have to tell me." He said, "Okay, I'll tell you. Well, you know, I wasn't really a good shot, but when I came to win your hand, there was a man with a red hat, a red jacket, a red vest, red trousers, and goat's feet, and he gave me the power, but I have to return to him because it's at the 7th year. And now it's almost the 7th year." Gretchen said, "You know who that was? It was the devil." "Yeah, it was the devil. The devil gave you the power. And now you're going to go back to the devil?" "Well," he said, "there's one possibility. If I can make him say, 'I don't know,' I'm free." But you know, he knew my name. The devil knows everything. "Huh," said Gretchen. "Okay, let me think. Here's what's going to happen. I'm going to take off my clothes. I'm going to dip my body in honey. I'm going to roll in feathers." He said, "Really?" "Yes, that's what I'm going to do. And while I'm doing that, you're going to go meet the devil at the bridge. And before you go off with him, you say, 'I just want to shoot this magical gun another time. And the next time you see me, I will be the one dipped in honey, covered with feathers. And you'll know what to do.'" "I will?" "Yes, you will." And so he went off, and he came to the bridge, and there was the devil. And the devil said, "That's a good decision. It's not a good idea to trick the devil. So let's go. You're coming with me." Wait, said Hans. "Couldn't I just use this gun once more?" "All right," said the devil. "What is it? How about shoot the feather from that bird?" "No," said Hans. No, I've done that already." And they walked side by side. "How about shoot the fur off the tail of that rabbit?" "No," said Hans, "I've done that already." And in the next field, there was this gigantic creature going, "Bidee, bidee, 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 bidee." "Who is it?" "Bidee, bidee." Wrapped in feathers, there was Gretchen. "Bidee, bidee, 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 bidee." And the devil said, "Shoot that." Hans said, "What?" "That." "What?" "Bidee, bidee, bidee." And Gretchen starts walking toward the devil. The devil said, would you please hurry up and shoot that thing? Well, why should I shoot it? Because it's coming toward me. I don't know what it is. I don't want to shoot something. I don't know what it is. Do you know what it is? The devil said, I don't know. And poof, the devil disappeared. And Gretchen, who looked like a huge bird, went home and took a bath. And Hans joined her. And you know how they lived, right? Happily ever after.